1 in a million coincidences do happen. Most people find themselves divided into two groups: those who tend to rule out such events as random, and those who find meaning or a larger pattern behind them. However, despite how unlikely it is to meet your doppelgänger or share the same birthday as your best friend, look a little closer and you will see that the universe is constantly conspiring to add little coincidences into our daily lives. We will travel time and space and discover some of the most mysterious and surprising coincidences you probably won't believe really happened. And for some extra fun, find our mascot net hiding throughout the video. Airmail. Releasing balloons can be of great consequence if it lands on a field or the ocean. An animal may think it's prey and ingest it. But what if there is a happier ending where strangers coincide? Here is the story of a 10-year-old named Laura. One morning in 2011, Laura decided to do an experiment with a red helium balloon. It was said to be released so to see how far it will travel. On one side, she wrote, "Please return to Laura Braxton." She wrote her address and phone number. The released balloon was taken right away by a strong current and landed over 140 miles south of little Laura's home. The wind took the red balloon to the home of another 10-year-old girl by the name of Laura Braxton. Needless to say, the second Laura contacted the original owner of the balloon and both decided to meet. But the coincidence did not end there. Both girls had a chocolate lab and a gray rabbit. The day of the meeting, without planning, both girls brought their little guinea pig. The money saver. You may have come across some hacks that tell you that the best way to save money on flights is by booking about 5 weeks in advance or shopping on a Tuesday. Imagine if that thriftness saved your life twice. In 2014, Malaysian Airlines had two tragic incidents. One of the planes was shot over the Ukraine, while the other became one of the greatest aviation mysteries. It disappeared without a trace over the Indian Ocean. In both instances, Dutch cyclist Martin de Jong was scheduled to board. He changed his flight at the last minute, cheating his demise because a cheaper option became available. Nature versus nurture. What affects a person more? Genetics or the environment? And what if they were twins separated at birth? In the 1940s, James Lewis of Ohio, was adopted to a family and was given a dog who he named Toy. He grew up to work as a security guard and married a woman named Linda, who he later divorced. Upon hearing a passing conversation by his adopted mother, Jim started to suspect that he had a twin brother. After a lot of searching, Jim was able to find the shocking truth about his brother. His brother lived only 45 minutes away from him and even vacationed at the same beach in Florida. But the incidents don't end there. Jim's brother's name? James Springer. He also had a pet named Toy and married a woman named Linda. Each brother had a child named Ellen, although one of them spelled it with a double L. And after each of them divorced, their second wife's name? Betty. Maybe next generation. Traditionally, men will ask the father of the bride for her in marriage. If the parents did not approve, well, that was the end of that. Nowadays, that's not the case. Imagine their surprise when Stephen Lee and Helen were looking at family photos after their engagement party in the early 2000s. A secret came to light. In the 1960s, Lee's father lived in Korea where he met the love of his life. The parents disapproved the couple and forced them to separate since the parents of the bride had already chosen her future husband. The heartbroken couple ended their relationship and eventually lost touch. Years later, Lee's dad moved to the US, got married, and had him. Now fast forward to Helen and Stephen. After the engagement party, Helen's mother was looking at pictures of Stefan's family. She took one glance at Stefan's late father and realized the truth. Back in Korea, she was going to marry him, but the family did not approve. Now, both past lovers have the opportunity to share grandchildren together. Annoying house guests. Imagine that you and your family go on vacation for the summer. Now come home and noticed that something is not quite right in your house. It would have gone unnoticed but for the hole in the roof that kept leaking water into the house. A family and friends landed the global jackpot in 2011. According to National Geographic, the odds of a meteor landing in your home are very rare, and even more rare, any landing over a home of a family with the surname of Comet. A 2 billion-year-old meteor the size of an egg hurled through space, shattering the roof of the family. The extraterrestrial rock was valued at about 1,000 pounds per gram. The comet's new acquisition weighs 88 grams. Cupid's cash. Paul Gresham met a woman named Esther. After seeing each other for a short time, he wanted to ask her to be his girlfriend. Earlier that day, while paying his lunch, he pulled out a dollar bill that had the name Esther written on it. He was about to hand it to the cashier when he changed his mind and instead kept it to give it to Esther in a frame. After showing her the dollar bill, he asked her to be his girlfriend. She was delighted about their relationship status, but ignored the coincidence of the framed dollar bill. Years later, after they got married, the incident of the dollar bill was once again brought back. This time, Esther told Paul the truth. After a particular painful breakup, Esther wrote her name on a couple of dollar bills. And she said to herself that she will marry the man who brought one of them back. Since the relationship was just blossoming, she did not want to scare him away by telling him that. But at that moment, she knew he was the one. Double take. What if you are desperately looking for something that is on plain sight, but you don't see it? This is what happened to Michael Dick. Over 20 years before the news broke in Suffolk, England, Michael and his then-wife got a divorce. Their daughter Lisa was a baby when her mother moved to a different city. Michael and Lisa never developed a strong relationship, and over the years, both lost touch with one another. 10 years have passed, and Michael wanted to reconnect with Lisa, so he asked the local newspaper to run the news in hopes of finding her. The picture was published, and to his surprise, a couple of days later, Lisa contacted Michael. The picture published in the Suffolk Free Press newspaper compelled her to call him. The shot displayed Michael posing with his younger daughters in Suffolk, but the photograph guarded a surprising twist. In the background, you can see Lisa and her mother across the street. Never will have anyone ever imagined this will happen. Freaky Friday or identity theft. This story became international news. In Bogota, Colombia, a young woman walked into a butcher shop where she mistakes the butcher for a friend of hers. She meets William, a man that looks exactly like her friend Jorge. The young woman tells Jorge of the chance encounter and the incredible likeness to William. She even became friends with William on Facebook. And while looking at William's profile and pictures, Jorge notices that William's fraternal twin looks exactly like Jorge's own brother. This is what happened. Soon after the 4 babies were born, the children were being fed at the hospital's nursery, where the set of twins was mistakenly swapped. The story of the swapped brothers was fully researched and was described in the book Accidental Brothers. This case was the first known case of 2 identical twin sets being split up and reared apart to later be reunited 25 years later. Turkish Ferrari. When you think of red, fast cars, Ferrari comes to mind. Italian-born Enzo Ferrari was the founder of the car company carrying his name, and he passed away at the age of 90 in 1988. This isolated incident, although sad, does not account for it being in this list. But the plot thickens. In 1988, the same year Enzo Ferrari passed away, in Germany, a Turkish-German child was born by the name of Mesut Özil. The two men look almost identical in most photographs, yet they are not related at all. The incredible likeness has made many people speculate on the idea of reincarnation being explained by this physiological coincidence. Where is Waldo, aka Nick? Right before Amy Maiden and Nick Weller were about to wed, they realized an incredible truth. They took their first photograph together when they were children, over 10 years before they even met. Although they lived in opposite corners of England, Nick's family traveled to Amy's hometown for vacation. The picture of the two shows Amy and her family sitting behind Nick while both children are playing in the sand. A similar case happened to another couple. The groom-to-be was in Rio de Janeiro and ended up in the vacation photo of his future wife, 7 years before they even met. What are the odds? Joan Ginther was a Stanford University PhD graduate who studied statistics. But not even she could have predicted the odds would be so strongly in her favor. She decided to apply her statistical knowledge on 4 chosen Texas lottery scratch tickets she selected and purchased over a 10-year period. She successfully pulled a 4-time winning, making her over $20 million richer. Thank you for watching this video about the most mind-blowing coincidences you won't believe ever happened. Remember to subscribe, comment below, and until next time, remember to click the bell icon after you subscribe so you can get instant notifications of all our new videos.